We're going to be cutting all the BS out of all this. What it means to be a creator in 2025. Like, what does that actually mean? My raw thoughts on the truth about being a creator.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Ronke Raji.
In case you're new, hi, my name is Ronke. I am a beauty and lifestyle influencer who also talks about real stuff. And I've actually been a content creator now for this should be the 11th year. I have a great track record, if I do say so myself. I have almost 200k subs on YouTube, even though I've had that for about 3 years straight, which I don't care. I still have the subs. The subs are still there. And clock it, YouTube is not an easy platform, okay? So I put in a lot of work to get here. I also have 200,000 on Instagram and 140,000 followers on TikTok. Now, I rarely talk about my stats, but I'm only talking about my stats so that you know that I am a reputable source. I'm not just talking about being a creator from a short-term perspective of just being online. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people see, and I see this a lot on TikTok. TikTok is the place where a lot of people come and they vent or like they talk, and it's a place where a lot of people want to be creators. But what I see a lot is that people don't realize that to be a creative and to be a creator and actually say you want to be an influencer is not something you wake up one day, say you want to do it, post one video, go viral, and that's it. Your career is started. Now, I know that it's very hard to believe that that's not really what it's about, but the more I've been around people, the more I realize that people really think that being a creator is this fancy schmancy, like, oh, you get brand deals. And that's not how it works. That's not how it works. A lot of people, and what I've heard this been spoken about verbatim. A lot of people have like traditional when I say traditional, I mean traditional 9 to 5, because there's so many different jobs and so many different ways people work. So I'm not even gonna be like, oh, just 9 to 5. But I've heard a lot of people who convert from being a traditional 9 to 5er to being a creator / entrepreneur, because that's really what it is, end up talking about how the hustle is different. You know, this is a space that did not exist a couple of years ago. I remember when I first started Instagram, this whole thing did not exist. And if I'm gonna really talk about the times in which I took this the most seriously and the times in which that I saw the most growth on any of my platforms, it was when I treated being a creator as a job. And what I mean by that is not necessarily just about posting. A lot of people come on here and talk about, oh, you need to be posting, you need to be consistent and all those things. And while those facts are true, there's also behind the scenes research you have to do about being a creative. All these algorithms, every single algorithm is different. YouTube has a different algorithm than TikTok. TikTok has a different algorithm than Instagram. The content that you post on YouTube is not the content that you post on TikTok, and is not the content that you post on Instagram. When I took a whole year off content creation and came back, I didn't just come back thinking to myself, I'm gonna throw things at the wall and then see if it sticks. I came back knowing that I will have to learn what the creator economy looks like in the years to come and how it is in 2025. And I did research. When I first started, there was a lot of gatekeeping. Nobody shared as much information as they're sharing now. Now you can literally find people's lighting setups. You can find people's anything you want. You can find it. And somebody online is telling you how to do it. There's so much more information about how to become a creator now than there was ever in general. However, I feel like people are still missing the point because they think of this as a short-term solution, because you see people posting, hey, this is how much I made. Oh, I did this. And oh, it took me. A lot of times, if you want to build longevity as a creator, you have to be not only consistent, but you have to be keeping up with times. You have to be researching about how times have changed and what things are changing. You have to be present in this in this position that you're putting yourself in. You can't just think, oh, I'm going to post every day and do the same thing I've been doing for years without thinking about strategy, without figuring out what the creator economy is now. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I first came back on YouTube after being away for a long time, I automatically was like, I'm going to still do my beauty videos. I'm still going to do this. There's certain things. But I started realizing that there's a huge shift into authenticity. Now, I've always been authentic, to be quite honest. Like, I've just been one of those people online. You can see, if you really want to know, you can go back to all my older videos. I've basically been the same person. I've always chit-chatted. I've always done all those things. However, this specific part of my creator career has made me realize how much that authenticity helps me more and helps me to create more than what I used to do. Because honestly, I am an aesthetics girly. Like, I would love to like set up my camera, do all those things. And while I still do, like my last tutorial literally was me in a camera setup and things like that, while I still enjoy that type of content, I've realized that the content that I pull out my phone and I'm like, I'm going to record in my car is the content that not only does well, because we're even going to talk about that in as a separate think piece, but I've also noticed that that's the content that also gives me the most ease. Like, for example, I'm now recording with my phone. I'm in my car. This video is not going to take me that long to edit because I know that I'm speaking. Like, I might cut out little gaps here and there, but it's literally going to be such quick content. One thing I've realized, even going back to that whole idea of doing well and not doing well, I was stuck in a rut for a long time when I first started really becoming a bigger creator or a macro creator. And I was stuck in a rut of continuously thinking about what my audience was gonna like instead of just consistently creating. And that's one thing that I've changed a lot in 2025. It's like I started realizing that you don't create content just for yourself. You do create content for your audience, but in this whole creator economy, you also have to think about what fulfills you. Honestly, so many layered things. I did not become a creator to get paid. And I'm going to repeat that again. I did not become a creator to get paid. To be quite honest, I remember having like 70,000 followers on Instagram. I don't even think I had that many subs or anything like that. And I remember that was the first time that I realized that people were getting paid to do this. I did not know people were getting paid to do this. And I really genuinely believe that it's one of those things that you have to have the right intentions. A lot of women see bigger creators who have done really well for themselves and they've been successful, and they automatically assume that they got there overnight, or they automatically assume that like that's what they want. They want the lifestyle, they want the money, they want all those things. And while it does exist, and while you are able to get those things, there are things that are built through consistent hard work. They're built through consistently posting every day, not missing a day of posting, posting consistently on all your platforms. Right now, I have 3 major platforms I post on. 4 now, because I post on Threads. It's not like my major platform in the sense that like I genuinely just enjoy talking on Threads. It's like such a different community, but I post consistently on 3 platforms. YouTube is my platform that I used to focus on a lot more before, but now I don't focus on it as much. However, I'm trying to switch that and be more focused on my YouTube, and then get my content and from TikTok and Instagram in different ways. Now, going back to the whole idea of each platform is different, I do my strategy very differently. YouTube is long form content. That means I can yap as much as I want. TikTok, that is short form. What I've started realizing, especially on TikTok, is that TikTok is, think of Instagram stories. TikTok is the place where you go to just be yourself and be random and be real. Instagram is still very aesthetic, and you can still have those TikTok moments where you have like real raw moments. But for me, what I've realized about Instagram is, for me, I love a curated Instagram. I will always love a curated Instagram. That's just what I've always done and what works for me. So as a creative, one thing I've realized is it's very important to understand that this thing is not easy. It looks easy because you see people posting their lives and you're like, oh, you're posting your life. What? I have a life. I can post my life. But that's not how it works. It's not something that just comes because you're just like, oh, when I tell you I do so much research, the other day I started seeing these TikTok shop videos pop up, right? And when they started popping up, I was like, oh, that's something that I've never thought about. However, there are people making money on TikTok shop. Now, do I think that I'm going to post one TikTok shop video and blow up? That's not how it works. I have to research. I have to figure out a strategy for TikTok shop. I have to figure out how people are making money. I have to figure out what tools to use. This thing about being a creator, even though for me personally, it looks to you guys that like, oh, I'm just like putting out content and the content is nice. This is a result of doing content consistently. Me knowing what setup I use, me knowing how to edit a video is years of consistently doing it. Me knowing what camera I use, me knowing even when to upgrade my camera if I want to upgrade my camera. This camera that I've had, my Canon, I've been using it now for almost 2-3 years. Honestly, one of the best cameras I've ever used, and I actually have not felt like upgrading it. But there have been times in my career that I've upgraded several times because I want a specific quality of video, which takes money in the first place. Like, we as creators, or let me speak for myself. Me as a creator, even when I do get brand deals or like huge amount of money from like specific things I do, I quite literally always invest it back into my business with equipment, with all the equipment that I have right now has been a result of something that I've done that I'm like, oh, let me take a little portion of this and try and reinvest it back into my business and make this a little better, So it's like, I know it looks easy from outside looking in, but it's seriously something that takes a lot of determination and it takes a lot of learning. I saw somebody post, and I think it was Timmy the Sage. She posted the other day, and she posted on Threads. She was like, I promise you entrepreneurship is like a humiliation ritual. And I 100% agree with her, because you guys don't understand that being a creator is being cringe, is being that person who is always in people's faces, whether you like it or not, is getting 2 views and coming back the next day and doing it all over again. A lot of people complain. A lot of people, and I've seen this so much that it like baffles me. A lot of people complain. They're like, oh, I posted for like 1 month and nothing happened. Research. Why is nothing happening? What does well on your page? All these things are analytics. YouTube is an SEO platform, search engine optimization. When I was growing on YouTube, even until now, I still do this. Every time I want to post a video, I check to see what other videos have been posted and how I can make my video rank high in the search. All the content we create is for other people to find and for other people to see if it's useful for them, because they're searching it. This is what creation is about. It's not just about being like, oh, I see everybody is doing Cowboy Carter, I'm gonna do Cowboy Carter too, I'm gonna post my outfit. There are specific times that you post your outfit that it will do well. Like, for example, one thing I've noticed, especially when it comes to like trends and stuff like that, people automatically assume that because it's a trend and because they see other people doing it, that when they do it, it will blow up the same way. That's not how it works. It literally does not work like that. If you haven't been posting, yes, again, every case is different. There are some people who will not post for months, come back and have a viral video. There are some people who have been posting for years, have a viral video, have a viral moment, and then that will be it. You have to understand that viral moments are not moments of, oh my God, I now have so much money in my bank account, and no, viral moments are literally leverage. You use viral moments to take viral moments and use it to boost all your other content. That's what viral moments are about. And it should give you a boost of engagement. Now, if you decide that you have a boost of engagement and then you fall off and stop posting, your audience is no longer going to trust you. And I have fallen victim to this several times. I understand my audience, but my audience is growing each time, and there's different people that come from different places. You know, this is not something that you can just wake up one day and be like, I want to be a creator, and think that you're gonna just automatically blow up overnight. You need a strategy. How many times are you gonna post? What posting cadence works for you? Now, for me, I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I just dropped the kids off at school. I have about a couple of hours before they come back. This is usually the time that I do content. This is usually the time that I get as much content as I can possibly get in this whole entire world. Okay? And I try to batch create as much as I can. Now, it took me a second to get here because I had to also situate the kids. They used to be at home with me at some point, and I wasn't able to create. But slowly but surely, I started figuring out what worked for me and what made my content flow easier. And one thing is, you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to take advice from people regardless of their walks in life. There's a lot of small creators that are doing some great work, and that are even not even just doing great work, but are even making so much money off of the specific niche things they do. Now, speaking about niches. When I first started, it was all about niches. And the only reason why I feel like it was all about niches was because people needed to know why they followed you, and they needed to know what they were coming to your page for. But I have now seen in the creator economy in 2025, nobody cares about a niche. They just want people. Like, the more person and human you are, the better it is for you. Like, as a creator, you should not only be doing strategy, you should be researching the industry, researching trends, researching all the time. Go on YouTube. If you are somebody who, man, I don't know what camera setup I should use or what lighting, till today, I still take tips from other creators on TikTok on how to improve my video lighting. I still ask people, oh my God, I love your lighting. How do you do it? Because you always have to be learning. This is not a space where you come into and you're like, oh my God, I'm doing this because I want to get money. If you do that, you will just be stressed, because this is not a yes, there's going to be a time where you make a consistent income. But there's also going to be those times where you look at your pockets and you're like, is this even worth it? Like, that's literally, there's no in between. There's either I'm making consistent income and this is my job and I'm excited, or oh my God, do I need to like get another stream of income somewhere else, you know? And sometimes as a creator, there's going to be months where you have nothing come in, and then there's going to be months where everything comes in at the same time. That's literally how it works. So this is not something that you have to have the intention of money. Yes, it is great to earn money doing something that you genuinely enjoy, but you have to focus on the strategy. And even going back to earning money, you have to pitch. I've had management now for a couple of years. Actually, ever since I started taking content creation seriously, I've always had a manager. However, one thing I've realized is you sometimes can advocate for yourself. You can pitch every week. You're as a creator, you should be pitching 4 to 5 times to brands, getting their emails. I'm a hypocrite because I don't do it a lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm a spoiled baby girl. Sometimes I just wait for people to come to my inbox. But technically, act like you're hungry. This creator economy, you're only gonna do as well as the work you put in. You cannot just think that you're just gonna sit there and post every day, not respond to your people on your page, and just think that you're gonna grow. No, that's not how it works. If you really want to grow, build a brand. What do you want people to come to you for? You don't just post random videos and be like, oh, people are gonna like me. Nobody knows you. Even till now, I'm not even going to lie to you, there's still some people I meet that do not know me. They do not know me. But people will come to you for certain things. For me, I always keep my base as makeup. I am a makeup artist. I've been doing this for a long time, and what I know is makeup and photography and videography and hair. But no, seriously, like, be yourself, but also feed people information. Like, give people the information. What have you learned as a person? Like, the other day I did a white eyeshadow tutorial. That is me teaching people, hey, if you wanted to do a white eyeshadow, this is how you do it. Like, this creator economy has become so self-centered that people are not realizing that it's technically about other people as well. Not that it shouldn't be about you, but let it also be about your audience. Like, what does your audience really want to listen to? Like, the reason why I really started doing all my think pieces on YouTube, it wasn't even because of it was doing well. I didn't even care, because at some point you have to understand, again, going back to ebbs and flows, there's gonna be times, especially during the middle of the year, where sometimes you will get views that you'll be looking like, is this even making sense? But there's other times where even though you're not getting views, the momentum you're building by being consistent is going to pay off at the end of the year, because you built that momentum. And now at the end of the year, where like people are at home because of Christmas and all those things, and they're now watching you, because you've been consistent, you will be rewarded at that time. And it can happen at any time, but I've just noticed that that's the cadence. Like, I've just noticed that, like, you post more throughout the year, you're consistent, and at the end of the year, for me, I get the most brand deals at the end of the year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I always enter the year, thank you, Jesus, because the momentum you create. Because a lot of people care about views, they care about followers. They're like, oh my God, my followers aren't growing. Sometimes do what you need to do with what you have, okay? And I've learned that lesson in so many different ways. Do what you need to do with what you have. Sometimes it's not even about, in fact, most of the time nowadays, what I've realized, it's not about the followers. It's about what you can do. What value do you add as a creator? Followers just are a metric. And I get it. Brands sometimes make you feel like that you need specific numbers to be in specific places. But there are some brands that are literally looking at smaller creators and being like, oh, I really like that she does that. I'm gonna work with her, you know? So find out why you're actually wanting to be a creator. Be a creator for the right reason. I'm not gonna lie. My intrinsic reason for being a creator is because I've always wanted to be a creator. I never even knew that this would ever exist in my life. Like, when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I was a creative person. I always wished there was a way I could express myself. Here we are. There's YouTube, there's Instagram. Now, I've talked about all these things, but let's talk about burnout. I've made so many videos about burnout as a creator. And the reason why I feel like in the creator space, burnout is so regular is because there is sometimes not work-life balance. For me, I'm always creating. Even when I'm out with my family, or like we go chill somewhere, I'm thinking about what content can I create in this place. And sometimes when your brain is always on the what content can I create, it causes burnout, because sometimes you need your brain to be bored for you to create your best work, and you need space. You know, like when you go to a traditional job and you're like, okay, 9 to 5, you know that 5 p.m. you're going home to be like, okay, let me try and do other things. Let me turn off the switch in my head where it's like work. Except if you're a manager or you have extra work outside of the 9 to 5 that you do. But I guess I'm not even using 9 to 5 as like a thing. I'm just using it as a premise so that you guys can understand how being a creator, you're consistently thinking, you're consistently batch creating, everything can be content. However, sometimes that causes a lot of burnout. For me, I do my best work when I'm able to take a break, and I also do my best work when I'm creating content that I enjoy. For me, I love a good perfume ad. If you guys want to see the perfume ad I did, you can go on my Instagram. I love like ad worthy videos. Like, I just love using my camera to create. Now, it's not all the time I can do that, because sometimes to even set up, to do this, to do that, to drive here, sometimes it's a lot. And somebody will see a piece of content and not realize that I shot that piece of content in literally 3 hours, or the fact that it took me 3 hours to shoot a piece of content, and then it would take me 5 hours to edit the piece of content. The other day, I didn't realize, because again, I'm so used to doing this because I'm thinking to myself, like, this is what I do. I didn't realize that it actually took me 5 hours to edit a 20-second reel. I didn't realize. I just looked at the time and it was 3 o'clock, and I knew I'd started editing this reel way before that time. So a lot of times, the thing that you guys don't see as a creative is like, we spend a lot of time behind the scenes. Like, yes, we're always online, like talking in front of the camera, showing our life, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work, like pitching, or even, let's not even talk about affiliate linking. That is something that I just started doing this year or a couple of years ago. And when I tell you, it's something that I have to consistently have like a checklist. Like, okay, I've posted on Instagram, I've posted on TikTok, I've posted on YouTube. Now, how can I link all the things that I've used in this tutorial on my LTK so that people can have access to it? You know what I mean? It's like so many different facets, and things change on a regular basis. For example, Instagram now has edits. There's a whole new app that's not CapCut called Edits. Now, what Instagram likes is when there's a new thing that happens, like, remember when Reels came out? Oh my goodness, so much rewards for Reels. I remember I was making a little bit of money with them Reels, because when the Reels first came out, they were like, oh, post every day and we'll reward you. Technically, as a creator, even though nobody wants to admit this, you're working for the algorithm. You know, yes, you're working for yourself in the sense that you're putting out what you want to put out. Also have to know what you're doing, and you have to know how the platform works. Honestly, I've learned a lot and I'm still learning. But the one thing I will say to like wrap this up is, don't think that being a creator is easy. Don't think it's something that you can just pick up. Don't think that it's not a muscle you have to build. Have you noticed that like a lot of people who go to the gym, you go to the gym for a whole year straight before some people see results? This is a long game consistency project. That's what being a creator is. And if you cannot find it in you to do it without getting paid, then it's not for you, because not all the time do you get paid for the efforts that you put in. Sometimes the efforts is for it to grow your skills as a creator. That's really what it is. And I think sometimes people forget that. You're exercising a muscle and you're growing your skills. And that is also what is going to get you to a place of having skills that is going to be used for when you do make the money, you know? So every single time I think that these think pieces are not going to be like long, it ends up being really long. But what I always say, because I'm only one person, I'm talking from my experiences, I'm talking from what I've learned, but I really always want to hear from my audience. What do you guys think? How do you think the creator economy has changed in 2025? If you're a creator, do you think the market is oversaturated? I never think the market is oversaturated, because there's always space for a new voice. There's always space for a new person. There's always space for authenticity, because each one of us are so unique. Like, there's so many people I follow that like you might think they're similar, but they're not. They're talking about two totally different things. They might even look similar, they're not. You know, everybody has their voice and everybody has a space. I really feel like the creators that get the most out of being a creator are people who can not give up and keep going even when going gets tough, and actually move with the times, you know? Let me know in the comment section down below what you feel about the creator economy in 2025. And I really just felt like I had to do this video. There was just so many thoughts in my head that I had to like just talk about being a creator, because I just feel like a lot of people have different views on it. See you in the comments. I'm gonna be chit-chatting with you guys over there, and let me know what you've learned also, because I need the tea. Like, who are your favorite creators? That's even what I should be asking. Who are your favorite creators and why do you like them? Because honestly, I need to know. Like, as a creator, that's one thing that I've always thought about. Like, why do people gravitate towards other people, and like what do they do that is a little different, you know? So let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video on Friday. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, because I'm spamming y'all with the videos, okay? So get ready to be sick of me, okay? Okay. Sorry. My mango smoothie has already chai. That's already. Isn't it so cute though? It matches my shirt. Please let me go. Almost 30 minutes of sitting here in the parking lot. I parked the car in the parking lot to do this video. The things I do for YouTube. But I just knew, I just felt like I had to get it out. Like, bruh, I'm the type of person, when I have a video idea, like last night, I don't even know how it came to me. Last night I was in the bathroom, it popped in my head. I was like, what you need to do, like, if you're a creator, you need to watch this. And I was like, another think piece. And then this morning I was like driving, came into my head again. I said, okay, you know what? Just sit down and do, because when I do think pieces, to be honest, I have to like actually be thinking about something to want to talk about it. So yeah. I didn't know why I had to explain myself, to be quite honest. But yeah, okay, bye. Why are you still on this video? Why are you still watching me? Just tell me, why are you watching me still? You too safe. Must you stay to the end? Okay, I love you. Thank you for staying to the end. If you stay to the end, because to be quite honest, I'm a yapper. But that's why I like YouTube. I'm sure people have been watching me, but how the what? Okay, let me go. I think I just like looking at my face. Yeah, I'm fine.